right? But I mean, we also have the Cruz, right? Who also wanted to say something.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have one question to Professor Rossi and one question to Professor Eremin. So, yeah. Mr. Rossi, you mentioned that the fact that the Biden administration neglected or undermined the Palestinian issue, and as a result, it negatively affected their reputation. But do you think that Trump's administration is going to be different? Because, I mean, during our class, we briefly covered the Israeli lobby, which is powerful. It either buys or pressures the vast majority of US politicians, including Trump. And this argument was also made by John Mearsheimer. So my question is, do you think Trump's approach to the Palestinian issue will be different from...
It's going to be different is that he's going to be even more brutal.
Oh yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, you get to choose. Do you want maximum strength genocide, or do you want low-calorie diet genocide? I'm not even trying to be funny here. I mean, it's like Trump has gone on record to say, right, that Israel deserves every ounce of support, every ounce of legal protection for what they are doing, because he is a major recipient of AIPAC money. And he also has cornered the voting market in the evangelical Christian crowd in the United States, who are the only people that I would say are even more Zionist than the actual Zionists. So in that regard, he's playing into the religious conservative crowd that absolutely stands behind Israeli Zionism. And we know this, right? We absolutely know this.
There's a great picture that just shows an airplane bombing what seems to be Palestine. There's the airplane under the Trump administration is just an average airplane, no sounds or anything. And the other one, just like that, on the other picture, that says, yes, she can, LGBTQ rights, this, and that. So essentially, nothing changes. It's just Trump, one of the things that appeals to people can be open about this and say, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to vanquish them all, and we're going to be this imperialist power that can reinstate our control of the Middle East, while Kamala Harris would be
sugarcoating.
Shush. We're doing this, but shush. Don't tell anyone that we're committing genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
Who are you going to support?
Well, I mean, her response was something to the effect of, well, we are mindful of what's happening, and we are sorry for the amount of deaths and violence, but...
Yes, very concerned, but
we will not deviate from our commitment to support the state of Israel. Well, that's nice. It's like
regardless of the situation,
it's like NATO. It's like NATO telling Ukraine, "You want to get into NATO? I'll tell you what. You can get into NATO as soon as you defeat Russia on the battlefield."
What's the point of NATO?
That point,
that's a good question.
NATO can get into Ukraine at that point. Okay? So. And then you had a question for Professor...
So we know that Trump is terribly unpredictable. Yep. So I would like to request from you your prediction regarding the foreign policy of the United States under Trump administration in relation to Russia.
It's literally like half of the second section, right, about foreign policy. But yeah, sure. I mean, I probably know what you're asking about. Like, a lot of people in Russia, especially within the establishment, are often concerned about American elections. That they're even more important for Russia than the Russian elections to some extent, right? They're more interesting to follow. There's an intrigue, right? You're always kind of, if you're a Russian in Russia, you always kind of follow American elections. That's important. That's our culture, tradition. Thank you very much.
Well, you're left wondering who could win.
Who could win? And then it's a mystery, right? But the thing is that oftentimes this talks about our Trump, right? Agent Trump sort of deal, or the narratives in Russia are awfully misleading because that's a part of propaganda that doesn't necessarily reflect upon the real state of events. In his previous successful electoral race, he's already shown that there is no Agent Trump, right? There's no benefit from having Trump in the office. This is why it wasn't even a play, right? I think Peskov suggested that Kamala Harris is actually, is a better candidate for us because she's more expectable, right? You understand, she's more predictable. You understand how to handle that sort of political force. You expect what the potential foreign policy steps will be, what the policy is going to be in general. With Trump, you never know. And unlike, it's something that we will probably cover a little later, unlike the previous presidency, now he has the Senate, right? He has the...
We haven't figured it out, but they were in the lead to take the House.
Yeah, so probably he'll have both of the houses of parliament, and he will also have the Supreme Court, half of the judges have been assigned by him.
Single party state.
So that will be not even a single party state, it's a single leader state.
Single leader state.
This is the age of uncertainty for America, right? Whatever he decides to do will fly. In his previous, if you remember, in his presidential cycle that he finally won and was the 45th president, great. One of his first decrees was let's forbid all the people from Middle East to come into the country. Regardless of who you are, you can have your whole life in America, your family is in America, we don't care. These people had to wait until the Supreme Court has thrown the decree out the window. Well, now that won't happen, right? Now whatever he does, presidential decrees will probably stay until the next president comes around. So you can see that this uncertainty kind of gives you a lot more edge about what's going to happen, right? It certainly more profoundly it can be both beneficial for Russia, it can be worse, way worse for Russia compared to what the presidency of Kamala Harris would be. So again, I would say not great, right? This is not great in the worst possible sense because the more radical the foreign policy gets, the more tensions there are, the more conflict you get. So essentially nobody is safe.